Fourth FEniCS workshop. The first one was in 2003 in Chicago. We were a quite small crowd then. We were there, myself, Ola, Kent André was there. You weren't there? Osman was there, Hans Petter was there, Garth, Rob, Andy, Matt was there, he's not here today, Kevin. So a group of 10 people or so. Then the next year we had a workshop in Delft in 2006. Garth arranged this workshop. It then grew to around 25 people or so. There was no workshop in 2007, but then again we had a workshop last year in Baton Rouge, and this year's workshop is at Simula. So I'll give a quick summary of what's happened this year in the different projects. I sent out this email asking for some kind of reports, milestones. So I'll try to summarize that, and I'll also give you a special treat at the end of this talk. So just first, this slide summarizing what FEniCS is all about, at least my view of what FEniCS is all about. So it's about solving this optimization problem. So we have a model, some PDE, and we have some functional that we are interested in computing. So here at the CBC we are solving the Navier-Stokes equations for blood flow and blood vessels. And we're interested in computing shear stresses at walls. So A is the Navier-Stokes equations. And this M, this functional, is the shear stress at some point or in some region of the domain. And we have some tolerance. Say you want to compute this shear stress to within some tolerance of 10%. So then this optimization problem is about computing this shear stress to within a given tolerance. And FEniCS is about solving this optimization problem. And to solve this optimization problem, we have created a quite large number of components. So you recognize these components: Dolphin, FFC, Fiat, Instant, Sci-Fi, UFC, UFL, and Viper. These are the sort of core components of FEniCS. Then we also have Ferrari and Puffin. Ferrari and Puffin have been asleep for some time. I expect Ferrari to come alive again soon. Isn't that the plan?
Well, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. And then we also have these applications on top of all these components, including the umbrella component FEniCS apps, including Grade 2 plasticity and the Unicorn flow solver. And as you know, these components are organized in a quite complex dependency pattern. So it's become quite a complex beast to maintain and build. So we're working hard on build systems and packaging of these components. But it all fits nicely together. So we have the UFL and the UFC interfaces, which we hope to keep quite stable, which should simplify the process of keeping everything in sync here. Then we also have some other projects on the horizon or development projects that may or may not become part of FEniCS. So we have the exterior calculus project, the C++ Fiat version. I don't know the status of that one. It's still there in the repository.
That's
yes, I guess. And then Gotran, Ola's project for code generation for ODEs. Mesh Builder is this graphical user interface for marking boundaries. Hopefully we'll get this up to speed and working with the new versions of Ubuntu in the near future. Then we have the build system, and we have Dorsal, this build script by Harish that builds all the different FEniCS components in an automated way. This year we started this new release schedule, so we now release FEniCS regularly in sort of stable releases. It's not stable yet, but at least we have a stable release schedule. At least we managed to do this once. So the first release is FEniCS 9.04. You're laughing. So the next planned release is for October. That will be the release code name brother Boris. So it's a nice exercise to try to figure out these guys, who they are. Boris Galerkin, for example, and then you have a few others that you might recognize here. So the release schedule is fixed now until 2013. So that feels good. And then you can go to the web page and try to help us fill out the remaining names until 2020. And then we have to think about a new naming scheme for these releases. So this is the same principle as Ubuntu is using, 2 regular releases each year. And it also becomes more important now that we are moving the packages into Ubuntu and Debian. So the Debian packages are being built by Johannes and Christophe Prudhomme, who is the main guy for scientific software in Debian. So Viper is now actually part of Debian. It's an unstable and testing distributions of Debian. And the other packages are pending. So there are bugs filed against Dolphin, FFC, Fiat, etc. because of some minor issues with the Debian policies for location of license files, the strictness of these rules within Debian. So I think this will be sorted out in the near future, and then we'll see all these packages as part of Debian and then eventually as part of Ubuntu. Until then, you can access all these packages on the Simula webpage, packages.simula.no, for quite a range of different Linux distributions. We also have the build bot. Johannes, and I guess mainly Ilmar, is maintaining the build bot. So we are now building all the packages on 5 different platforms every night or whenever someone pushes a change set. And the Dolphin is actually being built in 5 different configurations, so with and without PETC, etc. So we are building Dolphin every day in 25 different configurations. So whenever this table that you can find on the web page is green, everything is okay. So now you notice this is the copy from yesterday, so it currently fails on Windows. Dolphin fails on Windows because of some missing GTS, I think. So some of the demos, they failed. But it looks fairly okay. Everything should be green, but it's in a fairly good state right now. We have the FEniCS book. So this is a preliminary draft of the book, and you can find copies in the back of the FEniCS book. So you can grab a copy and make comments, bring it home for inspiration and look at the notation. So we'll try to have a unified notation throughout the book. So those of you writing chapters, look at the notation, and we'll have to discuss this further on the book mailing list. So we're planning around 40 chapters. It looks like it will be around 800 pages, so it'll be quite a large book. 15 chapters have been submitted. We are a little bit behind schedule, but it looks good. Most of these chapters actually look pretty good. So grab a copy of this book. Then I'll quickly go through these packages, this information that I requested, some milestones, future plans for all these packages in FEniCS. So Dolphin first, this is in alphabetical order. So Dolphin was released first in 2002. The latest release was in April this year. So recent activities include moving to the UFL form language, improved mesh, linear algebra, and Python interface. And we introduced the function space class. I guess that's the main interface change to last year. Also the new variation problem class, replacing linear PD and the nonlinear PD. So future plans include parallel assembly and parallel solve. That's almost there. We have written most of the code. It's in the Dolphin dev repository. We need to do some final steps before that is in place, and of course then we have to test it and improve the algorithms further. But I expect us to have a first implementation of parallel assembly in the near future, and then to stabilize interfaces and try to make a release of the first stable 1.0 of Dolphin and keep those interfaces fairly stable from now on. FFC was released in 2004.